Berikutnya Pak, nanti kita kembali lagi.
Mau apa? Lihat lagi apa?
Udah kan? Udah kan?
It's a good day for the Indonesian army. These soldiers have killed 10 rebels from the Achinese separatist group GUM in an ambush. As the press arrive, the battle scene is still fresh.
Bangsat.
The soldiers who lost 2 of their own are still pumped full of adrenaline.
Tembakan dari situ.
Iya. Dia pun masuk kan di sini. Masuk ke sana. Kemudian suruh keluar. Keluar hantam dia langsung saya babat pakai ini. Dongkol aku.
They accuse these villagers of helping the rebels.
Gong ini Gong. Jadi siapa yang ngomong nggak ada GAM di sini tadi? Orang. Hah? Bohong semua. Bohong semua orang kampung. Tadi nggak ada orang kampung segini, sekarang banyak sekali. Katanya pergi semua orang ini.
Even before I get to where the 10 bodies lie in state, the first warning is given.
Kembali lagi. Pak wartawan, 10 menit cabut. 10 menit cabut. Lama-lama.
Jadi orang gam semua ya?
Bukan orang tahu Pak, bukan orang sini.
Bukan orang sini?
Bukan.
Lewat saja di sini?
Iya.
Entah.
Terus sekarang bisa terjadi apa di sini sekarang?
Benci.
Tembak menembak. Tembak menembak. Ada.
Sama siapa?
Sama TNI.
Karena
Yang tadi pagi.
maksudnya kejadian sekarang?
Takut. Lokasi kontak ada di lokasi kontak.
All the other reporters have left, and I quickly understand why.
Tahu.
Cepat Pak.
Oke.
I'm given a not-so-subtle reminder that there will be no opportunity to ask questions here. The soldiers want to get on with their interrogation.
Gamnya masih ramai dikatakan di sekitar sini. Jadi kita nggak bisa berlama-lama di lokasi. Takut mereka akan mengempur ulang atau membalas dendam. Karena mereka tahu anggota mereka banyak yang gugur.
After a few years of press freedom following the fall of Suharto, the Indonesian Army's offensive in Aceh marks the beginning of a new relationship between military and media. It all begins in Jakarta, at military headquarters. Here, journalists in military fatigues begin 4 days of training before going to Aceh.
Semua ketentuan militer sudah berlaku, itu ada, mulai detik ini.
The Indonesian Army, or TNI, has clearly learned from the American experience in Iraq, embracing the concept of embedded journalism.
Terkesan otoriter, memang otoriter. Karena memang saatnya harus otoriter. Saat kita mau demokrasi ada juga saatnya. Tapi dalam hal ini terkesan otoriter, benar. Anda kenal cacing? Cacing itu binatang lembek. Keinjak aja mati. Tetapi dia mampu menembus tanah. Nah kalau Anda latihan 4 hari ini aja nggak tembus, itu lebih parah dari cacing. Nah nanti saya akan lihat di lapangan, Apa Anda turunan-turunan cacing apa manusia?
Kembali posisi semula.
After the Get to Know Your Commanding Officer session, it's into the back of the truck for the 2-hour ride to Mount Sangabuana for the 4-day boot camp. Here they learn what the TNI believe to be the essentials of war reporting. Lesson number 1, ambush practice.
Kira-kira betul apa salah? Salah. Betul apa salah?
Yang depan betul.
Nah, ini akan mati kalau belum begini nih. Untuk itu, supaya membiasakan kita mencari perlindungan yang benar, maka kita ulangi. Ya, ulangi.
Terlalu mau ke sini. Ada banyak orang.
In Baghdad, reporters stayed at the Palestine Hotel. In Loksamawe, the center of the military operation in Aceh, it's the Vinavira. They are crammed in, 3 to a room. These reporters were in the first group to do the boot camp at Sangabuana, where they were told they must produce patriotic journalism. On arrival in Aceh, they are watched closely and are often reminded of their training.
Di sana orang tenis mau bilang, dia udah mana komitmen kamu dong sama Sangabuana? Lah, siapa yang bikin komitmen? Kita mah cuma ikut Sangabuana. Mereka sebetulnya gitu.
Chitra Prastuti is a reporter for the Jakarta radio station 68H.
Ketar-ketir karena kita tetap ingin menjadi jurnalis yang baik, yang cover both sides. Tapi di satu sisi kita seolah-olah sudah menempatkan diri pada posisi TNI dengan menjadi embedded journalist, padahal ya nggak begitu juga maksudnya.
Bernie Mustafa writes for the English language newspaper, the Jakarta Post. He says some of what they learned at the boot camp was useful, but the military indoctrination was a little over the top.
Emang ada penekanan pada nasionalitas ya. Di Sangabuana ada acara mencium bendera. Itu bagi saya masih tidak perlu.
This is the kind of manufactured event the military want on the nightly news. Ordinary Acehnese displaying their undying allegiance to the red and white flag of Indonesia.
Untuk para rekan-rekan Koramil, setelah saya siapkan, mohon dibantu kerapian poskonya. Siap!
Negaraku Indonesia, tidak akan kami biarkan engkau terpecah belah hanya karena ambisi manusia yang tidak bertanggung jawab. Satukan misi untuk kemajuan Nangro Aceh Darussalam yang kita cinta.
Locals consuming the nightly news are fed a barrage of military propaganda.
Ya, artinya darurat ini bukan untuk tentara, bukan untuk aparat, bukan untuk yang lain. Itu jalan untuk menuju ke sana. Artinya darurat militer untuk kesejahteraan, untuk keamanan rakyat Aceh.
A brand new set of strict guidelines for reporting this war has been drafted by the generals running the show. It's now illegal to quote the separatist movement GUM, and no journalist is allowed to report anything which may give a negative impression of the war, or a positive impression of the enemy, GUM. For reporters trying to do their job, it's never been more difficult.
Kan nanti Ophir gabung sini aja.
Newspaper reporter Bertus Mandai says the Indonesian people are smart enough to see through the smokescreen.
Masyarakat Indonesia pun akan melihat bahwa pers ini dibatasi. Mereka sudah dapat berita bahwa yang masuk ke Aceh itu dibatasi. Dengan sendirinya saya yakin masyarakat yang sudah cerdas akan tahu, oh iya, ternyata ada sesuatu di sana yang ingin ditutup-tutupi.
At the military's daily press briefing, I am the only foreigner. There is now an unofficial ban on foreign reporters travelling to Aceh. But there was an American journalist already there, and he'd become a real headache for military spokesman Colonel Ditya.
Jadi perlu saudara-saudara ketahui bahwa dia sama sekali tidak izin ke pihak kami.
Before the military operation began and press restrictions were imposed, American freelance photojournalist William Nesson travelled to Gum territory to report the war from their side. The TNI have not tried to conceal their contempt for the whole idea of being embedded with the enemy Gum.
Apakah dia sebagai wartawan malaikat? Tentunya apabila dia membantu pelaksanaan operasi darurat militer. Tapi bisa juga dia menjadi wartawan setan apabila justru dia membantu gerombolan Gum ini.
Dateline has acquired the photographs of Nesson's time behind rebel lines. These pictures were smuggled out of Aceh and are the only images taken from Gum's side since the war began. The Army Chief of Staff has said that he could be a Gum spy, and if so, would face the death penalty. From his hideout in the hills, Nesson called me to explain himself. What have you done wrong?
I have yet to figure that out. They're just telling me they want to arrest me, interrogate it. I've never heard directly, they've never said to me directly what I've done wrong in it.
Kita hanya memperingatkan kalau memang dia ingin keluar, ya silakan keluar, diberi waktu. Tapi kalau tidak keluar, kita ini operasi jalan terus, gitu saja. Yang salah kalau kasihan kalau dia ditembak, gitu aja. Yang salah dia, bukan kita, gitu loh. Nah, itu ya, paham?
Paham.
Ya.
The military gave Nesson 48 hours to surrender or else. Nesson says he tried to surrender at the beginning of the war, but the TNI fired on him and the Gum fighters he was with, and he was forced to flee for his life.
Well, I don't really want to die. That's the truth. I mean, men on either side of me were shot. Okay. Dead. Okay. Had I been one person in front, I would be dead. I'm not too happy about it. I've been scared out of my wits. Promised myself the first chance I get, I would get out.
The reality of Nesson's predicament and all that he'd seen over the past weeks was beginning to take its toll.
But that night, when I thought I was going to die, and we all thought we were going to die, there was a sense that the TNI had closed in on hundreds of people and fighters. We were encircled, and the full story I will tell one day of how we got out. It was brilliant on their part. You know, and it was based in the people. If the people hadn't given them information within 50 meters of the TNI, snuck out hundreds of people. Okay? But that moment, I mean, it's just... I'm not a religious man, but that was an experience, you know, beyond...
Stay strong, mate.
I am.
Come on.
I am.
With the pursuit of Nesson making headlines around the world, the Army points out there is only one side to this story. Brigadier General Rationo.
Pemerintah sudah memutuskan bahwa GAM itu adalah musuh negara. Jadi dia bukan one-sided di antara sided yang lain. Dia bukan pihak yang lain. mereka tidak berada di dalam koridor NKRI.
Today, the Indonesian journalists and I are off to the area that William is supposed to be hiding in. We've heard that there are daily raids to flush out the rebels. We travel in convoy for our own safety and stop to ask soldiers the way to the action.
Kalau dari kakak ke sana nggak terlalu jauh, cuman kami nggak bisa menjaga keselamatan di sana soalnya kan.
Kita dari Raja Wali.
Ini bukan wilayah mereka, jadi dia tidak jamin keselamatan kita. Iyalah, dari dulu nggak pernah dijamin kan keselamatan kita. Bukan baru sekarang. Cuma Tuhan. Cuma Tuhan.
Apa lagi ya?
Hah?
Apa lagi? Apa?
For the people of Aceh living through this conflict, acts of terror are commonplace. We've been tipped off about a murder and make a detour to check it out.
Oh iya itu. Telanjang ya. Dari belakang aja apa? Kang, dari belakang aja ambil gambarnya, Kang.
Ya Allah.
The dead man's sister arrived as we did and is understandably distraught as she faces a barrage of questions.
Abang saya ada dua lagi.
Udah punya istri ini apa?
Ini belum. Ini masih umurnya 20. Anak saya.
Anak Bapak?
Iya.
Anak kandung?
Anak kandung.
Abdul Adam. Abdul Adam?
Iya.
Ini? Iya.
Barusan.
Jam berapa? Sekarang jam 3. Jadi jam berapa Bapak tahu?
Entah, saya tahu ini barusan nih jam 3. Ya ada. Ipegalang kepala kaki ji ada. Tapi kah turunnya.
The victim's father says 4 men came in the evening and took his son away.
Tadi malam.
Pakaian ditutup ini. Pakaian tentara itu. Pakaian tutup. Ya, ini mukanya tutup.
Datang ke rumah Bapak.
Topeng semua.
Topeng semua.
Ini disepak juga ya.
Ini juga digorok ini.
Digorok.
Saya bilang, Pak, jangan Pak, adik saya nggak bersalah Pak, apa ini Pak, apa? Bilang dulu Pak, saya bilang dulu Pak, apa salah adik saya? Dia nggak jawab, diam, ditampar lagi, mama saya sampai.
Establishing the language the kidnappers spoke is important. If they spoke Javanese, they would be outsiders and therefore possibly soldiers.
Asalnya bahasa Indonesia, pakai
Bahasa Indonesia, bahasa nggak tahu lagi ada.
Orang udah gelung gitu ada juga.
Ada bahasa Acehnya?
Enggak ada bahasa Aceh, enggak.
Murah gelem.
Logat Jawa apa kira-kira?
Bahasa Jawa ada juga, bahasa Jawa.
Ngomong Jawa juga?
Saya nggak bisa bahasa Jawa. Orang itu ya banyak sekali ngomong bahasa Jawa. Kalau dia bilang
minum kopi.
Oh, dengar ya.
Apakah Bapak tanya siapa yang diambil?
Tidak.
The dead man's brother says he was talking to some soldiers in the morning who told him they'd taken some people away the night before. He now believes that they were talking about his brother.
Oh, jam 8 malam Bapak ketemu kedai itu.
Dia langsung mulai cerita tentang penculikan itu atau gimana?
Dia cerita sama Bapak atau Bapak mendengar?
Dia langsung, pertama kan dia tanya, terus habis itu cerita atau
Dia cerita.
Dia cerita sama Bapak atau Bapak mendengar?
Iya, saya dengar ceritanya.
Jadi Bapak waktu itu lagi duduk bersama mereka. Di warung atau di mana?
Di warung.
Tapi pokoknya 2 orang.
Atau pangkatnya apa Pak? Pangkatnya apa? Berapa garis?
Berapa garis?
Satu merah ya?
Bos, aku duluan dah.
The experience has shaken us all. The villagers' testimony appears to implicate the military. The reporters will have to be careful to tell this story in a way that does not get them thrown out of Aceh.
Nggak tahu, itu memang menjuruskan ke satu kelompok tertentu, tapi nggak tahu juga, mungkin harus dikonfirmasi dulu. Terlalu dini mungkin kalau sekarang, kan semua juga emosional di sini.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Qul huwallahu ahad, Allahu samad.
The commander of the 400 soldiers in this area is Colonel Rimbo.
Ada
seorang
Di mana?
Iya, di Desa Sumirah.
Saya malah belum tahu.
Belum dengar.
Belum? Di daerah mana itu Sumirahnya?
Yang dari pasar.
But the horrendous murder that occurred just down the road from his post is apparently news to him.
300 meter deh.
Cek ke Charlie 2, katanya ada masyarakat yang terikat katanya.
Iya, dipotong.
It seems inconceivable that with his men firmly in control, he's heard nothing about the brazen attack.
Kita datang ke orang tuanya juga baru datang.
Oh, malah kita belum tahu. Sebentar ya, saya cek dulu ya.
When the colonel comes back, he has all the answers.
Wah, kalau pakai topeng kita TNI nggak pernah kita pakai topeng kita. Apalagi kalau malam pun kita tidak masuk ke kampung kita. Biasanya kita justru malam itu akan menunggu di seputaran kampung. Kalau memang di dekat kampung, diharapkan kalau mereka ada yang mau masuk ke kampung, itulah kita ini kan.
Jadi GAM kira-kira Pak yang melakukan?
Ya kemungkinan besar itu. Hanya itu tadi salah satunya mungkin ngomong aparat, karena mungkin kan sekarang pun GAM mungkin Anda sudah tahu sendiri berpakaian, makanya dengan pakai apa? Topeng, kemungkinan juga bisa jadi demikian. Nah, sekarang kita akan cek itu. Ya nanti kalau memang ada informasi kita informasikan lagi lah. Jadi kita cek.
Kalau wilayah ini termasuk?
Ini kan wilayah namanya wilayah itu kan.
One of the journalists bravely asks whether it couldn't have been the colonel's soldiers who abducted the man.
Kalau kita prosesnya seperti itu, kalau nangkap orang kita tidak lagi main seperti itu. Kadang-kadang kita ini kan kita kembalikan kepada ini keluarganya, jelas ini serahkan, tahu kembali.
Tidak lagi main begitu. Berarti jadi dulu ya memang
itu zamannya apa? Zaman dahulu kala katanya, saya sendiri mungkin belum pernah jadi tentara kan gitu. Tapi kita sudah itu kan sudah masa lalu kan gitu.
At breakfast the next day, the memory of the horrific scene is still fresh in everyone's minds. The whole group met last night, and after a long discussion they reached consensus on who was responsible for the murder. But they know they must be very cautious about naming the perpetrators.
Mungkin memang kalau dari obrolan itu kita semua agak sepakat mungkin bahwa ini menuju ke satu kelompok tertentu karena ada beberapa items yang mencurigakan gitu kan. Seperti yang bawa senjata panjang dan pendek, lantas bahasa Jawa gitu, nggak ada bahasa Acehnya sama sekali. Itu kan merujuk ke satu kelompok tertentu, tapi ya mungkin akhirnya bukan tugas kita untuk menyimpulkan ini siapa yang melakukan, tapi ya kita kasih aja paparan semua faktanya ini dan biarkan orang yang membaca, menonton atau ngapain, ya kan, oh ini pasti ini pasti ini.
Apakah agak takut sedikit dengan aparat kalau kita menulis seperti itu?
Belajar dari pengalaman teman-teman yang lalu sih memang sempat ya ada aja ketakutan untuk wah nanti apalagi kita nginepnya seberangan kan sama salah satu kelompoknya gitu.
We don't have long to dwell on the murder. There is a new lead to focus on, a credible report of a mass grave.
Informasinya apa? Dengar apa?
Mayat 100 orang.
100 mayat di mana?
Di Biren, tapi di mana? Di Biren, tapi tempatnya belum tahu.
Kita belum baca.
So we head off again to check it out. When we get to the area, we come across an army investigation unit. They say they've also heard reports of a grave, but their information is that the bodies are victims of GAM rebels. They're about to leave to start digging. The local reporters jump on the tanks, but when I join them, I'm told to get off. The distrust of foreign reporters runs deep here, and while I'm around, no one is going anywhere. I disappear for a while, and sure enough, when I catch up with them again, they've already finished digging.
Ini habis cari ketela.
Kemungkinan di sini.
But it didn't seem a very thorough job to me.
What's he saying? What's happening?
Nothing. That's the thing. Nothing. That's the thing.
But they say they didn't find.
According to them, they didn't see anything. That's why they came back. We don't know.
With the military here, it's impossible for these reporters to properly investigate the serious claims of mass graves in this area. A young man the military say is with gum is presented to us. We're told not to reveal his face.
Bisa jelaskan lagi kenapa masuk GAM?
Ya?
Kenapa masuk ikut GAM?
Karena dipaksa, diancam kalau nggak mau dibunuh keluarga. Ya.
He says he has heard of a grave here somewhere with the bodies of civilians killed by the rebels, although there was something about his answers that seemed odd. I could be wrong, but I had the distinct feeling that this man had been coached in what to say. I was already suspicious because I could see bloodstains on his scarf.
Kenapa sekarang pakai ikat di depan mulutnya?
Ya, ya nggak lah, biasa ini. Nggak tahu.
Biar nggak ketahuan wartawan.
Biar apa, Pak?
Biar nggak dikenal.
Kenal sama GAM itu.
Once the troops had gone, we head straight for the villagers, who had been watching proceedings from their houses.
Lari juga, suami saya juga bukan.
This woman told us the boy the army had showed us was definitely not with the rebels, and there was a good reason they wanted to cover his face.
Terus dia kena tangkap, dipukul, ditanya entah apa-apa, ditangkap sampai dia rusak muka-muka dan banyak orang yang nangis, perempuan-perempuan nangis tengok dia.
She says the vast majority of people in this area want independence, and thousands of them have taken to the hills with gum.
Tak mungkin, belum ada sejarah GAM memaksa dia suruh masuk, tak ada. Sebab semua orang ni semua mau ikut GAM. Bahkan kita semua ini.
Belum tu berentan belum.
Kenapa sebab kita tahu apa tujuan GAM ini. GAM ini mau memerdekakan kita. Sebab orang ini kan tak mau lagi mau bersatu dengan Indonesia. Makanya orang-orang itu terus kalau misalnya GAM lari, tetap orang kampung juga lari. Sebab tentara masuk dia kena pukul, kita ada dianggap sama.
Tapi masyarakat di sini mendukung GAM.
Iya mendukung semua masyarakat Aceh mendukung GAM. Anak kecil pun ikut GAM juga.
Tapi ibu nggak takut dengan tahu sering kena terancam atau apa penduduk yang ada di sini, ibu dan mama nggak takut di sini?
Saya tidak, sebab kami dari dulu kan, dari dulu sudah terancam macam ni kan, sudah berapa tahun yang lalu kami sudah terancam macam ni. Jadi sekarang sudah biasa aja, hati kami ini dah macam biasa aja. Dah tak openg keadaan lagi lah, kalau hidup lah, tak hidup meninggal itu terserah pada yang kuasa.
In the car leaving the village, we're all a little taken aback by the woman who showed no fear.
Aku itu tadi agak surprise dengan kakak itu tadi, sumber kita itu. Orang itu sangat percaya diri. Surprise.
A few days later, William Nesson surrendered, and the commercial TV station, SCTV, got exclusive rights to cover the event.
You're my friend. Yes. Crazy, you know. I am. You're crazy, you know. You think? I know. Okay, where is he? Keluarkan saja.
The other reporters immediately went on strike to protest the obvious favoritism.
Okay, you are not in the front. Why not? Hey. Okay. You believe me? Yes, I trust you. Come.
In the presence of the American defense attaché, Nesson was taken off for interrogation. He's now in police custody, awaiting a decision on his fate.
He comes in with me. Yeah.
In the days following his surrender, hundreds of bombs were dropped on the area where he'd been hiding. As the war continues in Aceh, so does the bizarre training for embedded journalists in Java.
Iya. Dapat. Jadi ini cara menangkap. Kalau ini jalan, kita kepepet. Nah, ini kita tangkap, kita putar bisa. Nah, kita putar ini.
But most of these reporters will never even reach the war zone. They work for foreign news organizations, and by the time they were ready to leave, new regulations were in place forbidding them from traveling to Aceh. The war in Aceh is to be cut off from the world's prying eyes.
Siapa yang mau potong? Silakan. Ini. Enak.